Hello, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Um, as you can already tell, I am seeing if I want to do a solo TTRPG stuff thing. It has kind of developed in my free time. For those that don't know, a solo TTRPG is basically a um. Hmm, how can I explain this? It's basically a kind of like D&D game, but without having a GM that you can um that you can basically like run by yourself. And of course you have to like, um whatchamacallit. Yes, I know it's blank. That you have to kind of like uh roll on tables called oracles in order to find out like certain things that would happen instead of you uh always portraying something along the lines like, oh, so X does Y, therefore Z. It kind of adds a randomness factor to it, which is very interesting to me. um Again, this will be the first time that I may or may not be running an actual tabletop RPG. In my opinion, this will be the first time that I actually have a TTRPG that is soloable, like actually soloable. Um, it is one of those situations that it's just I kind of want to try something new, you know, like I have followed a VTuber recently, uh, Hime. I just call her Hime, and she has been very kind to show some videos on solo TTRPGs and how fun they can be, and all this other stuff. I've also started watching some YouTube videos on actual play of solo TTRPGs. Of course, this is very new to me. So I may or may not make some mistakes going forward. This is, of course, session zero, which basically means um, this is where I get to like go into the world, how the world is, what world we're gonna be in, what's gonna happen, what kind of races there are, what kind of creatures there are. It's a whole it's a whole world building. Oh, okay, there we go. That's what I should have. World building. Okay, there we go. Boop. Okay, so this is Ironsworn, and I think I can show like the cover, or I think I can show like a little bit of a little bit of like the book without getting in trouble. So this is basically what I mean. This is Ironsworn right here. It is a tabletop RPG that is kind of like Dark Souls, sort of, because you are not guaranteed survival. Um, it is very hard, from what I can tell, and anything can happen. Anything can and will happen. If somebody doesn't like you, it wasn't because I said so. It was because I rolled for it. And you can even see right here what I would be rolling with. And right here, it would tell you like what I rolled, what the oracle that I invoked was, the whole kit and caboodle. But now, for now, we need to do some stuff. We need to do we need to do some truths, which basically the truths are what this world is developed into, such as what's a good example that I can give that of a world that I know sort of thoroughly. Um, Diablo. That because that's the only freaking world that I know like the back of my hand because I've been playing the Diablo series for a very long time. Like if I were to make or recreate kind of like Diablo in the Ironsworn series, I would have to go into the custom um truths of for all of these, like the old world. This is basically what happened for you to go to the Ironlands, or what would the Ironlands hold that is different from the old world, so to say. Iron is basically what would happen weather-wise. I think that's what it was, or like in the land of iron, the Ironlanders. I think they're called. I think that's what they're called. The legacies is basically if you were the first humans, or if you want to include elves, dwarves, gnomes, whatever race you want to include. And then communities is how the communities are, what they do, how they can interact with each other, how they can um, trade with each other if they do trade with each other. Is there racism? Is there not racism? Blah blah blah. The whole kit and caboodle. Leaders. This is kind of going off of the community thing because within a community there usually is kind of like a leader or a chief or like a mayor that would kind of get everything situated and everything together. And then the defense is how these societies defend each other or defend themselves. That's kind of self-explanatory. Again, it goes off of these two previously. And then there's mysticism, which is there magic in this world? Does magic exist? Do people have magic? Do people see magic every day? Do they not see it every day? And of course, the very good old question: is there religion? Is there gods in this place? Do people believe in gods in this world? And then the firstborn, which is basically what I said. Are you guys is everybody a human? Are there elves? Are there dwarves? Are there gnomes? Are there dragonborn? That kind of D&D esque racial difference between, like, are there just humans, or kind of thing. And then beasts. Are there magical beasts around? Of course, with elves and dwarves, of course there's gonna be like mythical beasts like the Fae, or like elementals, or stuff like that, or kind of like people, like half peoples, I guess, like half elves, half beast, half human, beastkin, that kind of thing. And then there's horrors. These horrors is basically, do you want to include Lovecraftian lore in this universe? Yes or no? More than likely, because kind if I do want to make a kind of like Diablo-esque kind of universe, like an alternate universe of that has the same kind of like setting as kind of like the Diablo series, this would have to be a given. Like this has to be yes. Um, like this one, the dead do not rest in the Irelands. At night we light torches, scatter salt, and post sentries at the gate. It is not enough; they are coming. That is going to be a definite yes. But throughout all of these like questions or like truths about this world, I will have to make sure to include that the supernatural does exist, like vampires and werewolves and demons and Lovecraftian horrors and all of that good stuff. Okay, so let us start with the old world, where I came from. Um, let me see. I'm trying to find out where our character would kind of like come from because this is basically what it is in a nutshell. Where did the character come from? Where did these people come from? Where is your community here from, a place that can no longer sustain you? Or a place that was plague ridden that almost killed everybody on the way here? Or um were you in a grievous battle in the old world and you had to flee in order to, survive? Um, I think at this point, um, hmm, I'm not really. Mm, I'm trying to like rack my brain on what would happen with this one because no, not the sickness, but I think that I think I'm gonna go with the fact that these guys came from an old world that they were invaded by the Savage clans called the Scold. Because these people actually no. Let me make let me make my own. Let me make my own kind of thing. Um, Actually, it's not defined what the Scold are. So I think I'm gonna keep it like this, but we're gonna make a little note here and there that the Savage clans, the Scold, are actually kind of like um a little cultish, and they worship kind of like demons and stuff like that as if they were gods, kind of sort of thing. So that's that one. But I also have to do a little uh a little note somewhere. Let me create a new entry. Old world truths notes. There we go. Um Add a page. Truths. There we go. Okay, so here is where I'm going to put that uh, the savage clans of gold are cultists that worship demons as gods, and they were instructed to invade the kingdoms of the old world. There we go. And then I will probably make a little note here. The old world truth. There we go. And so every time that, something happens, I would come here and check these little notes right there. And I would be able to tell, okay, so what are the clans of Scold? And then I would check here just in case, I forget. Okay, so that's one. And then let's go down to iron. Um, because this is Ironsworn, I'm assuming that iron is going to be like the very material that they can use for most of the weapons here in this little thing, I would assume. But, anything can happen with iron. Let me do something real quick. Let me put this. There we go. Boop. Okay, there we go. Anyway. Oh. Let us see what these are. The imposing hills and mountains of the Ironlands are rich in iron. Most prized of all is the star-forged black iron. Okay. The weather is bleak. Rain and wind sweep in from the ocean. The winters are long and bitter. One of the first complained only those made of iron dare live in this foul place, and thus our land was named. Oh, I see. So this is basically abundance of iron. This is very bad weather that you kind of like need to keep in mind for your character to know. And this is kind of like another way of getting iron. Hmm. The metal iron pillars, like the metal pillars, are actually a really good kind of like landmark kind of thing, because it honestly gives you kind of like imagine like a very big iron pillar just stuck somewhere, and people that travel through the iron lands would look at that and see, oh, that's a landmark, so I must be here on the map, kind of thing. That would be interesting. Although the black iron would kind of fit into the whole kind of like there's demons about in this world, and demons are like affected by black iron. Hmm. But I guess the first one and the third one would actually kind of fit, because in one scenario you have like these iron pillars that you don't know, they could be blessed for all you know. They could be leftovers from like long ago, from the gods that battled each other, and then this is all that they had left to just plant in the uh down in the iron lands, as they call them. But Hmm. What is a little curious is that this little excerpt here that some such as the Iron Priests worship them and swear vows upon them. Most make the warning sign and hurry along their way when they happen across one. The pillars do not tarnish, and even the sharpest blade cannot mark them. That is kind of like giving these pillars like a holy kind of light, I guess, in my opinion. But you know what? Let's go with let's go with this. Let's go with the metal pillars are found throughout the land as kind of like landmarks and holy symbols. Legacies. Oh, yeah. Before the Ironlanders, before even the firstborn, another people lived here. Their ancient ruins are found throughout the Iron Lands. Miners uncovered an underground ruin. Thereafter, the people of the settlement are haunted by strange dreams. The ruins call to them, they say. Several have disappeared into the dark, ancient place, including someone important to you. There we go. This is these kind of like excerpts that you can take and be like, okay, so this is a long quest that I can take in order for my character to be able to retire or something like that throughout their adventures, or kind of like um investigate where this important person went because of, you know, certain aspects of these ruins or something along the lines like that. um yeah, we have forged the Ironlands into a home. Villages within the havens are connected by well-trod roads. Trade caravans travel between settlements in the havens and those in outlying regions. Even so, much of this land is untamed. Okay, so the leadership, I think, an old world relic, that kind of like seems very Lord of the Rings kind of thing, but instead of, you know, the one ring to rule them all, it's like you have half of a crown. Now go find it. Like, what? Leadership is as varied as the people. Ooh. Some communities are governed by the head of a powerful family, or they have a council of elders who make decisions and settle disputes. In others, the priests hold sway. For some, it is duels in the circle that decide. Um, you know, I guess that there are numerous clan chiefs. I guess we can do that because we have such a wide variety. Because there has been um so many communities that they literally made the Ironlands their home. That I'm sure that there are kind of like divides of settlements and like which land is which and what land belongs to who and what family and what clan. Okay. So let's go with that. Um yeah. Now the wardens are kind of like the soldiers and then the guards and the militia. So because we have such numerous clan chiefs, I'm assuming the wardens would actually be very common. And because there are trade caravans and everything, the wardens would have a lot of money. flowing in their pockets because of some stuff. Magic courses through this land because, of course, if there's gonna be magical, not magical races, if there's kind of going to be races except like human, except just human, I would say that, you know, magic is kind of like mm, um kind of like prominent here. So magic in this world is very hmm, everybody can cast magic, but only those that are truly trained in magic can guard themselves from being corrupted. Yeah, there we go. That's another note that I could probably put for mysticism. Mysticism truth. Everyone can cast some sort of magic, but casting too much magic of too much but casting too much magic within hmm, hmm, hmm. How hmm. I mean I guess like casting too much magic can add stress to your body, I guess. I mean, there is a stress mechanic in this game from what I saw and what I read, but you know, if the problem is if you stress yourself out, you are very prone of killing your character right away. So I kind of like want to think of something along the lines that casting casting too much powerful too much magic within a single day can provoke and slash entice demons. There we go. Because this is kind of like yeah, there is magic, but in order for you to not entice a demon to you, which is how they can find you really easily and corrupt you, which is another thing that I need to talk about here in a few moments that I'm going to add um into one of these, I think. If you cast too much magic in like a single day, I guess, maybe like oh I don't if you start casting magic for like 4 hours straight, then you have a high chance of a demon being being provoked by you, and then they start looking for you. I think that's how I'm gonna do it. Let's save this entry. Religion. Our gods are many. That's fine. Firstborn. The elves hold sway. There's giants. There's Goliaths. There's giants. There's no instead of giants, they're just kind of like um kind of sort of like combining a little bit of Pathfinder in D&D into this. Kind of like there's elves, there's dwarves, there's Goliaths. Uh, yeah, there's Goliaths, and then there's I don't want to say Dragonborn because that's a little too cliche. I guess there are kind of like beastkin, I guess I would call them. um, kind of like half human, half animal kind of hybrids kind of thing, but they still have their human side still. Let me make a note of that. Forestborn truth. There are elves, Goliaths instead of giants, uh, dwarves, and beastkin, also known as demi-humans. I think most people call them demi-humans. I think kind of like I think demi-humans also kind of like fall into the elf category and the fae category, but let's just put demi-humans. Um, for this one, beasts. Um, do we want a lot of beasts to dwell around the whole place, or do we want more people kind of like um more beasts in the fact that they can hmm, I mean I guess they can roam around the Ironlands, um but this also kind of adds like a little danger into traveling too, because you can randomly find a dragon just flying by just because they can, and that would be kind of terrifying. um yeah. If we're gonna have some sort of like demonic presence in the Ironlands, we need to have the dead do not rest in the Ironlands. That also kind of follows into the mysticism kind of thing. Then let me make a note here. Um, dem- uh, demons can be called into world if magic is used the for either summoning them, focus, or enticing them by using too much magic. There we go. There we go. And then here we go. If there are any other things here, let me do this. There we go. Save entry. But then whenever we're kind of like we don't know kind of like what little notes that we have, we can always go into our journal right here and be truth notes, and then we can go from there. Okay, so let's save our truths, and this is basically setting our truth, and we can surprisingly get these in here really easily by talking about these. Ah, I didn't know they had one. Okay, okay, there we go. Um, let's continue. Okay, save entry. So if we have any other questions about our truths, we can always go into the setting the truths, journal entry, and then the truths notes. And then we can literally look around and, you know, get some ideas, for maybe what our character can be, or what a What is this? Shared sheet? Oh. Let me delete this. And then let's create a character, shall we? Ah, flashbang. All right. So this is a character sheet. This is very simple, I guess, quote unquote. I mean, I did kind of see those are maps, those are oracles, core rulebook. Oh, these are Star Force. This is the one that I want. Foe actors, assets. Okay, so now let's go through our character creation, which apparently it doesn't have any instructions here. Kind of a little bit of a bummer. Okay, so let's go down to the character creation. And then let us start a character in this little world that I don't know what to name it yet. We will see. All right. Okay. So we start with our stats. Um there are 5 stats. Each is given a value from 1 to 3. Oh. When you make a move and roll dice, you usually add one of your stats to your action die, which I think is a d6. And then you add that to the d6, and then you roll 2d10. So let's do this. Let's roll. Let's roll real quick as an example. Let us, oh, I don't know, gather information. What is this? Let's add 1. Ah, wits. There we go. So I got a 6, and then a 1, which goes to 7. And then when I roll, wow, what an interesting little thing. I rolled a 7 and a 2 on my action die, so I only beat 1 apparently. And because I only beat 1, I get a weak hit. And then it reads right here uh what you get. The information complicates your quest or introduces a new danger. Envision what you discover or ask the oracle. Let's ask the oracle, shall we? Um, this is where you also have to kind of like decide for yourself whether is this um is kind and a good example is this chest locked, which I could say almost certain, and then I would say right there I will roll and then it says yes. So now I have to do the appropriate move and do a lot of the things that would go into this little oracle, and then I would continue from there. Okay, so let's see, what do we want our character to kind of be like? So let's read the stats. um Let me see. So the stats are edge, which is the first one. It's all about quickness, agility, and your combat power in ranged combat. Okay. Heart is courage, willpower, empathy, sociability, and loyalty. So charisma is heart. Iron is physical strength, endurance, aggressiveness, and prowess in close combat, which is kind of like strength and constitution mixed into one. I guess. Shadow is sneakiness, deceptiveness, and cunning. So kind of, shadow is kind of like your deception, um, your sneaking, your deception, that kind of thing. And then wits is expertise, knowledge, and observation. So intelligence, wisdom, and yeah, mostly intelligence and wisdom. If you really think about it. Okay, so your health is always 5. That you cannot increase your health. Your spirit is also always 5. You cannot increase it any more than that. Your supply is basically kind of like anything that you would need to travel in a journey. So, kind of like when you do, let me see, adventure moves. When you undertake a journey, and this is where I would set the difficulty. Most of the time, I think I want to try a dangerous journey most of the time because, of course, you don't want to be too easy, but you also don't want to, kill yourself all right away. So kind of like that going there. Ugh. So let us undertake a troublesome journey. So let's see what happens. Is this wits? Okay. Oof. Okay. Okay. So in this game, if you roll a 10 on a d10, that is very bad because nothing can beat a 10. Nothing. So I am kind of lucky that I got a 5 and a 4 because I based on this number I beat this 4. So that's a weak hit. So I reach a waypoint, mark progress, which is somewhere here. I guess. Progress. There we go. Okay. So let's go right there. Let's do progress. Let's do a clock. Oh, I see. Oh, wait, no. Oh. Oh, I see. So let's do. Yeah, it's 2 progress. There we go. Messing around with this kind of confused me. So there we go. So there we go. There's a progress. There's the little progress bar right there. That's not completed. This is a progress. So let's go with that. Oh, I see. I think yeah, I have to put that right there. And then here's another one. Oh man. Oof. Okay, so this I'm gonna have to keep up somewhere. Somewhere here. Yeah, let's go right there. So that's our progress bar. And that kind of little thing that we can do for some of these roles that we will undertake throughout this game. Okay. So, let us and then it explains momentum, which basically you don't ever want to go under momentum because if you go under momentum, you have suffered setbacks and you may be retiring your character very, very early. Unless, they die. Let's see. See page 11 on how momentum works. Okay. So, of course, I just explained losing momentum. Um, you earn momentum if a move tells you that to add momentum, such as I think secure an advantage lets you add a momentum. Uh, yeah, there it is. On a strong hit, you gain advantage. Hello, hello, Kappa. Hello, how are you? Oh, and thank you for the follow. Thank you, thank you. Hello, hello. I'm going over my very first Ironsworn character. Happy holidays to you as well, my friend. Um, oh, wow. Okay, let's delete. Oops. I literally just noticed this progress bar right here. Oops. Okay. Oh, and by the way, happy holidays and Merry Christmas. Christmas to all of you. Very Christmas. But anyway, I was going over like what some of these stats are. What how momentum works, how the health works, how supply works. Yeah, you're welcome. Um, I was just explaining how burning momentum works, which basically, if, for example, I have a 6 and I rolled a 5, I can burn my momentum, reset it, and I can cancel out a. Yeah, okay. Here's a better example. Since I just rolled this, right, and I had 5 momentum, I could burn this. Actually, no. I think I know how it works. So let me roll something real quick and let me see. Let's do with iron. Okay, so if this is a miss and my momentum is at 5, I can reset it down to 2 and I can burn this 4 and make it a weak hit. This is a one of those situations that you can. This is one of those games that if you have a very good luck and you get a lot of momentum, you can turn misses that could go really, really wrong into weak hits. I mean, you still pay the price. Like it says right here, you pay the price. And depending on whatever you choose, you can ask an oracle. You can roll on the following table, which is this, and you basically you take either health damage or you take stress damage, which again, if these fall to 0, if your health falls to 0, you're dead. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And then you have to roll um not a face a setback, face death. Yeah. When you are at the brink of death, you have to roll with heart, and I'm dead. Like there is no coming back with that. I am flat out dead. And then I think I would after this, I think I would do not these. Where is it? Is that face adventure? Write your epilogue. There we go. This is basically. Oh wait, no. These are relationship. Oh, I see. You basically, if you want to write your epilogue and you have a really good relationship with somebody, you could get married, you could settle down, that kind of thing. So when you do that, you roll kind of like here. You roll here, And then depending on whether you get a strong hit or not, it depends on whether your fears actually come true. But let us continue with character creation, shall we? So, first, I need to set my stats for, yeah, it is very interesting. Like this book and like this Ironsworn, this is kind of like the first time that I started really looking into it. Is very intricate. It is very simple but very intricate at the same time. Like you have all of these moves. You have like Ironsworn delving, which is kind of like dungeon delving. Um, like that one freaking anime that if you can find girls in a dungeon or finding girls in a dungeon kind of thing. And I'm like, hmm. Um, but either way, so I because I want to have fun, I want to not make it too grim, but also kind of like the default. But at the same time, I don't want to make my very first character die within the first few like sessions of this of this new kind of series. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the stats by one according to this errata kind of thing for difficulty. So I'm going to do 43322. So, hmm. Let us look at our truths a little bit here and then decide whether we want to make kind of like a ranger kind of character or a kind of like a close quarters combat character or that kind of stuff, or a uh the heart is kind of like charisma, so you can flirt with people if you really want to in this game. It is hilarious. That's why the relationship moves are here. um so ranger, you know what, I'm just gonna make a ranger, like your typical kind of like D&D ranger without the magic, of course. So we're kind of looking like the rangers from like Lord of the Rings kind of thing. So rangers usually have very good bow skills or very good close combat skills or both. So this is kind of like talking to people. So, you know what? I think I'm going to make, let me edit these. And I think I'm going to give him or her, depending on what I would like to choose. Um, you choose what you want. Yeah, in this game there is no class, and as I am deciding like what the stats are going to be, you will kind of see um how you can build your character, but there is no skills, there is no classes, there is nothing like that you need to worry about. It is very like I mentioned to Capitan, there we go, the Vice earlier. This game is meant for you to be able to run it with either cooperative with someone or by yourself. You don't have to worry about the class. You don't have to worry about your skills. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. What you do need to worry about is your stats, because these stats will depend on whether you die really quickly or you don't. So, I think as a ranger of somewhat good caliber, I'm going to give them. This is quickness. From what the book said, let's go over the stats again. So, edge is agility. Heart is kind of like your charisma, like anything that has to do with charisma. Black Oath games, at least Rift Breakers. Yeah, it is kind of like Rift Breakers. And I have seen Rift Breakers. I do have the book. I have seen it. But this is a much simpler game, quote unquote, I guess. But it is very, very hard for this to happen. So this is your agility. This is your charisma. This is your strength and constitution. This is your dexterity. Well, no, not really dexterity. This is kind of like your mix of deception and that kind of stuff and cunning. And this is your quickness, your expertise, and your observation. I think if I want to make them into a proper ranger, I think I'm going to give them 4 edge, 3 iron, 3 in wits, and then these shadow and heart are at 2. All right. So that's our stats. Okay, so let's continue with character creation, shall we? Pick a name, pick your stats, your health. None of this is affected by your stats, so that's pretty much it. And then we can skip to of swearing an iron vow. We can skip that until anything until like the end of character creation, because this is something that you can. Mm, I don't think I have any bonds at this moment. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have any bonds at this moment. So there is wounded. There are debilities in this that for each debility that I get, which I think is a condition, my momentum goes down by 1. My max momentum, yeah, goes down by 1. Oh, oh man. Okay, so conditions. Wounded is pretty self-explanatory. Shaken is kind of wounded is if you're okay. Let me snooze those real quick. Let me see. Let me read wounded. Wounded may be marked when you're at 0 health and fail to endure harm. You are severely injured and need treatment to recover. Oof. Shaken is basically wounded, but for spirit. You need to endure stress. You are despairing or distraught and need comfort. Unprepared and when you are at 0 supply and are out of supply. Oof. Okay. Encumbered is marked as appropriate to the circumstances when you are carrying an excessive or cumbersome weight. So you don't want to get any of these conditions. You don't want to get over cucumbered because that's a bad thing. Oh, dude, this is even worse. If you are wounded, you cannot increase your health, so you cannot heal. If you are shaken, you cannot increase your spirit or, de-stress. If you are unprepared, then you cannot increase your supply. Yeesh. Dude, that is very bad. Oh, maimed, of course. Maimed is what you would think maimed is. You basically lose an eye or lose an arm. Corrupted is when your stress reaches zero and you fail. And you fail to endure the stress, so you lose yourself to the darkness. Oh. And then burdens are cursed and tormented. Cursed is when you face death and return with a soul-bound quest. Wow. Tormented is when you face desolation and undertake a quest to prevent a dire future, such as your death. Oh, thank God. When you create your character, all the abilities are should be unmarked. Oh, good. So, here is where it gets really interesting. These, the assets. The assets are basically what you can do. So, if I want to become an archer, I get 3 free ones at character creation. So, I have to choose very wisely on what I want to do. So, let's click on archer. Because, a ranger does know how to use a bow. And I would have a bow, and when you secure an advantage by taking a moment to aim, you choose your approach and add +1. So, if I want to roll with wits, I roll. I want to trust my instinct, I would roll with wits, and I take +2 momentum on a strong hit. And if I want to roll with edge, which is the ranged stat and dexterity, that kind of stuff, I will roll with edge and take +1 momentum on a regular hit. So even if it's a weak hit or if it's a strong hit, I will get +1 momentum. And if I go +1 momentum, great. I can burn this momentum so I can make weak hits. Or if I have enough momentum at +10 and I get a roll a 10 on the dice of the action dice, I can literally burn it and make a strong hit. So let's go. So that's archer. So that's basically what what your character can do. These are combat talents. These are companions. A ranger, of course, has companions. I, however, like this. Your wyvern won't devour you. For now. You have a dragon companion. Wouldn't that be great to start in this campaign with a dragon, like a baby dragon, and it may eat you? May. So these are the animal companions. You can get a giant spider. It actually talks to you, which is very scary. You can have a cave lion, which when you make camp, you can relax and you take 1 momentum. And that, all of these companions have their own little cards that you can choose from. Like you can start with the giant spider and you can have, oh, I don't know, this one, which uses your shadow. Or you can have a hawk that can help you hunt for small game and gain more supply quickly. That kind of thing. And then, since who asked for classes? Edmund Rames? Yeah, Edmund Rames. Paths. These are kind of like your quote unquote classes. So, if you pick a path of an alchemist, this is what you get. You can create an elixir and then you choose an effect: deftness, audacity, vigor, slyness, or clarity. So, if you pick the alchemist path, you get this one for free. You don't have to choose you get this one for free. So, when you consume the elixir, you have to face a danger with your iron. So, let's do that as a quick example with my iron right there. Oof. Oh, Jesus. Nope. If this example, I failed. I, holy crap, failed. So in this example, I will just burn everything. And it didn't work, and I just wasted that. Oops. So this game is very Dark Souls-ish. Why did I close the assets? Man. So that's a good example of that. And then there's rituals, which are basically like the spells of this game. There is magic. There is very interestingly made magic because these rituals have, you know, an essence little thing right here that you can put points into. You can do divination. You can do communion. You can bind things. You can make your weapons have inflict more harm. You know, that kind of magic. But I also have another supplement for this that adds actual magic into this. Unfortunately, I don't think I can. Yeah, no. Unfortunately, I don't think I can put anything here. I would have to make a journal entry. How do you know how many spells you have? You don't. You can literally cast any spell that you want forever. But let me look at the Spellforge book and let me look at um let me look at the okay, so it actually for I think it comes with the Spellforge assets, which unfortunately this doesn't have. So I'm gonna have to kind of like do a little fidangling if I want to do. Yeah, here we go. So this is kind of like a little bit of an example that I think I can show, but we will see. Display capture. So here for this one, these are the Spellforge ones. Here, let me do this real quick. So if I wanted the Spellslinger path, I can take this one. Well, when you enter the fray by barraging your foe with spells, inflict harm on a strong hit. When you strike by casting spells, you may choose one, hold them back, or hit them hard. So it kind of like, I don't know if you are limited in spells or like have spell limits, which I don't think you do. But I kind of it is kind of like up to you to set the limits of how many spells you have and how many spells people can do. But let me show you something that I did. These are the truths. Or each spell burns some resource. I think so. I think they burn supply, which is basically kind of like your kind of like your spell components. Target range. Yeah, these are all the spells that you can do. You can basically make your own kind of spell. Contrum Mind. Bruh. On how to create spells, it's time to use them. The most obvious and easiest thing to do is to cast spells using standard Ironsworn moves. Okay. Arcane Connection, and then combat spells. By the supplement using mostly spell intent and spell essence. Okay. Roll for magic. Okay. Chaos magic. Ah. If you can cast a spell, you can choose to do Chaos Magic Surge. Which Chaos Magic basically kind of like, I would assume it's kind of like Chaos Magic from D&D. You kind of have to be really careful on what you get, or else you can go and die, or just disappear from the universe because you decided to go to do a little teehee and summon Cthulhu from out of nowhere. Ironsworn already offers plenty of high magic options in Starforged. Okay. Ready from the get-go with assets like Firebrand or Sorcerer. Improviser and Slinger from Ironsworn. Yeah, it doesn't really kind of like say it costs to cast magic, but I would assume that because this is kind of like a sort of kind of like Dark Souls-ish kind of TTRPG, I would assume that it would cost like some supply if you fail to cast a spell. So I would probably like tie it to that supply, which you can, always hunt for more supply or do something along those lines. But let's look at the ritual assets and let's see. On a strong hit, you interpret and vision the response. On a weak hit, okay, so it does looks like rituals don't have any backlash from what I'm seeing, which is, kind of a little bit of a bummer if you ask me. But hey, I mean, they decided to make this game like this. Um, yeah, it seems that like magic is very safe in this game, but because I mean, I guess because of how it is, that you literally have only 5 health and only 5 spirit, it kind of like would seem fair for you to be able to just fucking keep casting spells all over the place and just be like, I kill you, and then you're done. But because of how I want to do this tabletop RPG world that I'm creating, these are the little tidbits that I added in here. Especially this one. Everyone can cast some sort of magic, but casting too much magic within a single day for one person, that doesn't mean the whole world, can and or will entice demons. Okay. You guys are in ad break. So I will take this little time to take a little bit of a break and leave it there. Oh, okay. Uh, I will wait for you guys to come back from break. A minute left for ads, which is good. I don't want people to miss anything, really. Okay, 16 more seconds. Okay. Okay. There we go. Welcome back, everybody, from your ads. Welcome back. Anyway, as I was saying before you guys went into ad hell, um, when I was making this little world building kind of thing, um, everybody has some sort of magical knowledge, right? But if you cast too much magic within a day for one person, you have a chance, which I kind of want to work into like a system, kind of like a yes or no oracle, or kind of like this. If you do, if you do like, oh, I don't know, um, five or from 5 to 8 spells a day, you can actually start invoking or enticing demons to search for the magical residue kind of thing. And then I also made it to so that elves do exist, Goliaths instead of giants exist, dwarves and beastkin, also known as demi-humans. And then for the horrors of this, demons can be called into the Ironlands by cultists. Or if you use too much magic, you will entice a demon. And good luck. Because I think in my head and in this world, most of these demons are going to be, oh, I don't know, um monstrosities, which, you know, you can look into like the Ironsworn delving, and you can roll in this, and then you can, you know, look at look at these and then start rolling. And then characteristics, extra limbs, claws, talons, that kind of stuff. and that the threat categories. I think there is character. No. Place. No. But anyway, I digress. Uh, let's continue with the asset or quote unquote classes that I can take. So I think I always shuffle the cards and choose like three out of five assets. Oh, interesting. Um, I think, but because this is literally my first time doing this kind of solo TTRPG kind of thing. Also, hello Atomic, how are you? This is kind of like my first time, so I kind of like want to choose, I guess. Um, I know most rangers or ranger kind of people usually are either duelists, archers, or both. So I think I'm going to. This is with plus edge by making a bold display. What is strike? Let's see what strike is. Ah, when I have initiative and attack in close range. When they have initiative and I attack from close range is iron. And then edge if they're at a distance. Okay. So let's pick archer. Let's pick duelist. And then do I really want a companion? Because I can take animal kin. And then later on, I can spend some I can spend some experience and get like an animal companion or something along those lines. But a lot of rangers don't really have animal companions most of the time. At least the ones that I like to do because animal companions in D&D are very easy to get to kill by accident. But I could get a companion and then later on some spend some experience once I get some into getting the animal kin path, which there's a reason why I want to get an animal kin, and that is this. I can add or upgrade an animal or beast companion asset for one fewer experience, which is, oh boy, which is really, really good. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I can take the animal kin path and then I would upgrade this. I would upgrade this with experience once I get it. And then because I can add it or upgrade an animal or beast companion asset for one fewer experience, that means I only need to spend one experience, I think, or two. No, I think it's two because usually it's three per asset. Okay, let me check. Okay, let me check how much experience. Yeah, it is three experience usually to add a new asset or two experience to upgrade an asset. So, because I would need this, so limiting choices helps me decide. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I also have choice paralysis sometimes, but when I am honed in onto like one thing that I like, which is Rangers, I will do anything and everything I can to make that come true. So kind of like this. So I would need 4 experience, 2 to upgrade this, and because I can spend 1 fewer experience to gain an animal companion, which is an asset, instead of making it 3 experience that I need to add a new asset, I will only spend 2. So I think this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the Archer and the Duelist combat talents, and then I'm going to take the Animal Kin path because, you know, animal companions are like that. When you make a move to pacify, calm, control, aid, or fend off an animal, add +1 and take 1 momentum on a hit. Nice. This is also a good thing because if I all of a sudden roll a danger and it's an animal, I can literally just look at this animal kin path and be like, okay, so I want to, oh, I don't know, pacify the animal. And then on a weak hit or a strong hit, I would get +1 momentum. So I would increase this. And I would add a +1 to any of my stats right here. So that's this is coming out pretty swell. Okay, so what is next? My assets, I already did that. Equipment. Make any note of any important equipment or items you start with. These are things that might impact the narrative and the moves you make, or provide texture to your character's background. They don't offer mechanical bonuses unless they are represented by an asset, such as a weapon used in a combat talent. You can assume you are equipped for travel and adventure as represented by your supply track, which is at 5. Don't worry about managing rations or ammo or other mundane necessities. There are no limitations by the rules, but envision your character's place in society and consider the availability of resources in your version of the Ironlands. By default, a fine sword or a set of quality armor is rare, marks you as someone of note. It influences how others react to you in the fiction of your game. If you want to begin your adventures as a typical Ironlander, envision yourself outfitted with cheap, mundane gear. A hand-me-down set of quilted armor, a ratty traveling cloak, a battered wooden shield, a spear, and a worn knife. Damn. Okay, where are my notes? Where can I put some notes? Nowhere. Okay. Okay, no. Um, Rollable tables. Wow. There is nowhere that I can make some notes. This is a little boring. But you know what? I am going to make a entry, which is equipment. In here, I'm going to add a page called equipment. And then here, I'm going to add a bow and arrows because you always have to specify. What are 2 curved blades that I can get? Sabers? Nah, not sabers. What would be a good kind of like curved, dexterous kind of blade that I could use? Let me see. A scimitar, a falchion, or a shamshir. Okay. Or I can do 2 daggers. Oh, what is this? Oh, a cutlass. That's what it is. A cutlass? A tagon? What the hell is an atagon? Oh, it's or short saber. Ooh. And I think I would say like two curved blades. Curved blades. And then in parentheses, let me do a takan, because that's what they are called. And then a set of leather. Leather and chain armor. Yes, Kappa. I got the leather. I got this little thing from Riftbreakers. A set of leather and chain armor. Because my brain is everywhere at the moment. Okay, so that's our equipment. There we go. And so whenever we want to see what equipment we have, I mean, we don't even have to look at this. We could just look at this. If when I wield the bow, when I have a wielded bladed weapon in each hand. Okay. So let us continue. Becoming an Ironsworn. In your first session, envision your current situation. Something has happened, or is about to happen, which puts you on the path of the Ironsworn. This is your inciting incident. Okay, make it personal, give it teeth. It's not a situation you can just walk away from. You must set things right. Okay, if you need inspiration for this starting situation, have a look at the prompts for vows in chapter 4. Okay. Okay. Ah, here we go. The quest starters. That is where these come in handy. So setting the truths come in handy. Because these are kind of like your quest starters and you can pick which one. Um you can pick and choose which one you want to start with. Let's see. Oh my god, this one? No. I don't want to make this into a Lord of the Rings-esque adventure set in like a place where instead of like orcs and a Nazgul, I think they're called the goblins and the orcs, the Nazgul are there. Um, I kind of sort of want to make it into that kind of little adventure, kind of like this one crown rules them all kind of thing, but I think that's a little too cliche in my opinion. Um, come upon a dying warden, she tells you on an important mission and charges you with its completion. Swear to me, oh my. Someone you love walked the paths of power and succumbed to it. Ooh. Who are they? Why did they fall into the darkness? Where are they now? Do you seek to save them or kill them? Dark Lord of the Blank? Maybe. Or we can actually twist this into into making it into like you secretly possess one half of the crown, an old world relic, that if people find it and they take this one, they can summon demons or something like that, and basically put them at their will, that kind of thing. I guess that could be a little bit of a better thing, that you want to get rid of this true crown forever and you have to travel the whole fucking land to, just throw it into a volcano or something like that. And I mean, that again, that's a little too Lord of the Rings cliche kind of thing right there. Oh, this one could be interesting right here. You bear the mark of a god. What is it? The priests declare this as a sign you are chosen to fulfill a destiny. Do you want to show off a specific monster type? Oh, oh, I will keep that in mind. Do you accept this fate or swear to see it through, or are you determined to see it undone? What force opposes you? This is basically the humans and giants are in the brink of war. That's fine. Professional slayers earn their keep by killing beasts. This particular slayer, famed throughout the Ironlands for her numerous kills, has gone missing on a hunt. Or, what evil plagues this land? Why are the Ironlanders so intent on settling here? Will you aid them or attempt to force them to give up this foolish undertaking? The horrors one kind of like aligns with what I actually want to do in with this adventure, with this kind of like first starting adventure. Like a group of Ironlanders just want to be like, this is the area where where we're gonna settle. And people are like, dude, like, look around. It's gloomy. There's fog every night. The fires at night turn blue for some reason. Why do you want to be here? And the chief is just like, because I can. But little do they know that the chief, there it is, that the chief is getting corrupted by a demon. There it is. There we go. So, let's look back at the look back at the character creation. Set a background vow and give it a rank of extreme or epic. Then envision your inciting incident and swear an iron vow. Okay. To learn more about your starting campaign, see page 193. 193? Okay, let me look at 193. Okay. Next, choose where your story begins. Have a look at the regions on page 112. Okay. Let me see. 112. Oh, I can show you this right here. Probably. This is just a map. So let me do this right there. So this is the map. And I think I'm going to roll a 1d9. Actually, no. These are the Shattered Wastes. We don't want to start there, because I think that's the end game right there. Flooded Lands, which is right there. The Barrier Islands, which is very small little islands that you can start with. The Ragged Coast. The Deep Wilds. The Havens. Ooh. the hinterlands, the Tempest Hills. You know what? I think we're gonna start here in the Havens. Let's start in the Havens. Okay. So, let me do this real quick. And then I am going to do something else. Um, where is my obsidian? There it is. Let's delete that. Let's rename this into Ironsworn. And then let's let's do one of these. Oh wait, no. Nope, never mind. Uh, oh, I see. Delete. And then make a new note. And then put it right there. There we go. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Let me do boop, and then boop. Yes, I am going to do some things that I have learned from a couple of solo TTRPG people. One of them being Hime, and the other one being Keppa. But I am going to use the same thing that Hime uses, which is obsidian. I find obsidian very intuitive, and I like it. Okay, so here is going to do chapter 1. Hi, Amber. To you too. Okay, so here is what's going to happen. I hear quietly listening. Oh boy. By the way, Amber, this little campaign of Soul Solo TTRPG is kind of sort of like Diablo kind of thing. So I would knew you would be interested kind of thing to see where this goes. I am also very interested to see where this goes, but I think I'm going to name this character Phelan. Phelan. No, Phelan. There we go. There. Boop. Oh, okay. Okay, there we go. So let's do that. And then let's do... Okay, so let's just do here and let's do here. These are moves that I can make as Tristan. Oh wait, no, not Tristan. Bruh. Where's the sheet? Prototype token? Yep, there it is. Assign token. There we go. So, for our very first, let me copy and paste this little thing. Where is it? Not truths. There we go. Here. Let me copy this. And let me paste it here as a started quest. Okay, here we go. So, Hmm. Let's make our very first character. Let's roll on the oracles to make a character, shall we? Well, not a character role, because we already know what the role is. They are a they're not a scout. They're a chief. Let me see. Let me see. Let's go for character descriptor. Let's roll 3 times. Oh no. Okay. So they are oppressed, which kind of goes into the same deal that this is happening. They are also stoic and they are very violent about it. Okay. So now let's go with a name. Name. Oh, do I want to make them? Do I want to make them into an Irelander or an elf? Ooh. Hmm. Let's give him Ereshki. There we go. Let's give him a elf, shall we? Now, do I want Phelan to be a human or another race? You know what? I am going to make him an elf. I'm going to make him a very twink elf because why not? Okay, so this guy is Ereshki is the name of this guy. A violent, it's stoic. A violent yet stoic village chief. Hmm. Let me see. Let's yeah, let's go with that. And then this is where Phelan. Hmm. An elf of white hair and slender build walks into the town. There we go. From travel. Far from arrival of the iron. I mean, I guess they would be here for a very long while. So I guess they were just traveling from um finding work to find find work. He stumbled upon a village. Yeah, the village of. And now here is where we go into the names of settlements. Old world language. Oh. Mm, yeah, let's go with this one. Oh, the village of Windhaven. Windhaven. Little did he know. Mm, there we go. Um, so this is a little bit of chapter one, a little bit of setup for chapter one. Um, Rishki, a violent yet stoic village chief, was feeling as if they have an oppressive force enticing them to settle in this piece of land without any other choice, and having dreams of demons roaming around the world around them, he decides to settle here, whether his community wanted to or not. And then here comes our little hero, Phelan, an elf of white hair and slender build, walks into the town from traveling far to find work. He stumbled upon the village of Windhaven. Little did he know that there was an oppressive force that had fallen upon this village and its chief. He walks into the village with not a single soul in sight. He stands in the middle of the village square, confused. Hello? The loudness of his voice breaks the deafening silence. There's that setup. As he turns to look at an opening door. '60s. Yeah, let's go with '60s. Why not? In human years. Turns to yeah. Yeah, he's very violent, okay. Okay. All right. I think this is where I would need to swear an oath, to swear an iron vow after this little paragraph here. As he turns to look at an opening door, and Ereshki, an elven man that was late into his 60s in human years, walks up to him. Hello, young man. What business do you have here? Are you looking for work? Well, we have none for the likes of you, wanderers. He looks at Phelan with disdain in his eyes and spits at the ground in front of him. Then he violently tightens his own sash from his robe and walks back inside without a single word. Okay, so this is where I will make a vow. But first, I want to I want to see if Phelan would recognize this kind of thing as kind of like a corrupting move or something to or something to make sure. There we go. Swear an iron vow. Okay. Let us swear of an iron vow. This is with heart. Do I do a plus anything? You make this vow to a person or community with whom you share a bond at +1. I have no bonds to this. Oh, wait. Did I miss something in character creation? I might have, actually. Do I have any vows? Any bonds, actually? Do I start with bonds? Bonds. There we go. You forge a bond, okay. Bonds also provide mechanical benefits. Okay. Ah, yeah, there we go. You should start your first session with up to 3 background bonds. Okay. So, 3 background bonds. Okay. So, let's do a character. Turning point oracles? Oh. Major plot twist. Okay, so let's do 3 bonds. I think let's do a settlement. No, let's start with a character, and then let's do a character, a settlement with up to 3. So let's just do 2. Let's go with the name. Not a troll. I don't want a troll. Let's do another elf. Ilsit. Okay. And now let's roll on the... If it's 50 or above, it's a female. If it's 50 or below, it's a male. I hate you right now. This is what happens when you leave it to chance. Ah, yes. The very conspicuous rolls of 1D100s. When it lands perfectly in the middle. All right. So let's make a bond with a person named Ilsit. They are a female. A female. Yeah, let's do female. Now let's roll in their role, which is an artisan. And then let's get some descriptors. Let's do 3 descriptors. Oh my lord. They are aggressive, generous, and jealous. Oh. Generous and jealous. Why? Why is this a thing? Why? Okay, so that's one bond. Hey Amber, I didn't know you were I didn't know you were in this game already. You're aggressive with the sword. You're very generous sometimes, and sometimes you get jealous. Well, I don't know about the jealousy part, but you know. Ain't no way. Are you sure? I'm just kidding. Anyway, so that's one bond. So now let's do a second bond. This one, I think, is going to be a settlement. And let's go with a creature, Fox Hollow. Ooh. And this is a settlement. This is a settlement. And then let's go with a quick settlement generator. Damn. Settlement name. Oh, I already did. And now let us do their descriptors. Does this have a descriptor? Yeah, location descriptor. 1, 2, and 3. It is ancient, rough, and ancient again? No, let's re-roll this. And low. Okay. Oh. Okay, so now this is extreme or epic? No, let's go with extreme. This is a vow. Uh, investigate the village of Windhaven. Hello, Birdie. Hello, how are you? And let us do that. This is the vow that I'm going to undertake for now, but I also need to do an other extreme. No, this one I think is going to be dangerous. This one, which is the longer one, it is going to be help the no rid of the oppressive force of Windhaven. There we go. You got your shit rocked for 12 hours by Savage Omega and Monster Hunter Wilds. Oof. I feel you, my dude. I do not like Savage Omega. It's I'm home, so now I'm bored and I'm getting fucking bargain blasted. I can't be a little shit and annoy her some. Oh, bro. I feel for you, bro. Need 3 fucking nodules. Oof. That's one thing. Oh my god, the notes are right here. I am stupid. Equipment. Bow and arrows. To curl the blades of a targan. And leather and chain armor. There we go. Also need so many to transcend. Yep. Yep. I know what you mean. Okay. So I have these bonds. When you retire from your what? What? No. Let's do a progress of no, you know what? Let's delete it. There we go. Nice update on the model. Oh, thank you. But anyway, let us continue this little TTR solo TTRPG. I was planning on I told you so too, but I can't. She got so annoyed that I swapped up my running route when she joined me. I was gonna do the I told you so, bruh. Bruh. Anyway, so let's continue this little TTRPG here. So, now that we have this, I have to swear a vow. So, quest moves, swear an iron vow. Let's do this with my heart right here, which is only a +2. Ooh, oof. Okay, it is a weak hit, which is good. So I am determined, but begin your quest with more questions than answers. Take +1 momentum. Nice. So is this a tabletop sim? No, this is a tabletop RPG, TTRPG. You know, but you know whatever. But I'm using Foundry as kind of like the rolling system, so you guys witness it as well. So it also says right here if I do a weak hit, a strong hit, or something like that. And this is basically kind of like session 0, session 1 setup kind of thing. So, and envision what you do to find a path forward. Never seen tabletop sim? Yeah. It's an interesting simulator. Okay. Now let me do a little journaling here. Expected something akin to like Warhammer 40k Bell Sector. I mean, it can somewhat be kind of like that. Okay. Yeah. I'll see you around. Um where is Obsidian? Here. Not that. Obsidian. There we go. All right, let me snooze this again. I have one more. Okay. So let me write some a few things here about what actually happened with this weak hit. Hmm. What did I name it? Investigate the village. Okay. All right. So, because he has more questions than answers at this point, I think the appropriate adventuring move would be to gather information because he has a little bit of a feeling that the village chief isn't like being very forward with him, and he kind of like stares at the door of the village chief's um home, and he's like, why, like, why are you so adamant in me leaving? And so here is the little tidbit of this. Phelan, looking at what the village chief had said, and being too violent about it, has left Phelan wondering what could really be happening. He takes out an iron arrow and places it against his palm, facing towards the village chief's home. I swear an iron vow to investigate the village of Windhaven and help its inhabitants. With that, he checks his gear and begins to go door to door to ask questions. All right, so let's gather info with wits right here. Nice. Do I have react within a community or ask questions of a person with whom you share bond at +1? No. So I don't have any bonds here. So I'm just gonna roll my wits. Oh, there we go. A strong hit. Here we go. So, you discover something helpful and specific. The path you must follow or action you must take. Progress is made clear. Envision what you learn and take +2 momentum. So we're up to 5 momentum now. And let's ask the Oracle. Pick 2 envision options. Rate 1 as likely, okay? When you seek to resolve questions, discover details, you may draw a conclusion. Decide the answer based on the most interesting fact and obvious result, okay? Ask a yes or no question, okay? Pick 2, envision 2 options. Rate 1 as likely and roll on the table to see if it is true or if it is true. If not, it is the other. Okay. All right. So, does Phelan discover something about the oppressive force over the village chief? Let's because okay. So, let's let's think about this for a little moment. This is a village that nobody knows about him. Valen literally just arrived. So I think people are kind of hesitant to tell him what's actually going on. Or he just is, because he doesn't have a lot of, charisma, he kind of like asks the questions in sort of like, I need you to tell me now what's happening. And because of that, I think it's a 50-50. So, oof, he doesn't. Okay. 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 Oh, ask the oracle if unsure. Okay. Never mind. So I literally just asked the oracle. Asked the oracle if he would. Okay. So I know based on this on the strong hit, he would discover that this place is actually having an oppressive force going towards this. So let's mark some, and let us ask another thing. Okay, so I think at this point they are going to undertake a journey, and they are going to do this journey right here towards where he thinks he would. How's it going? Hi, hello, Luke. How are you? Also, happy Christmas. And I have been trying out a solo TTRPG. And this is basically what I've been trying out for the moment. This is called Ironsworn. This is a tabletop RPG that you can play GM-less or co-op if people would like to co-op this with you if you ever are interested. But right now, I am kind of like setting up the scene at this moment as I journal as well. This is kind of like one of those journaling kind of games. As I do it in chapters, this is chapter one, and they are going to undertake a journey. So, because they are going to investigate the village of Windhaven, it's a 1,000-year vampire. Yeah, I want to try some of those as well. So let us roll. And this is with wits, I think. Okay. You're setting up from a community with which you share a bond, which I'm not. Okay, so let's roll. Oh, a weak hit. Okay. I reach a waypoint and mark progress, but suffer -1 supply. That's fine. And then I mark progress, which is 2 progress per point. So let's do 1, 2. There we go. So that's 2 progress on that. Okay, so I kind of succeeded, but not in a good way. So as Phelan investigates the village of Windhaven, he kind of um talks to the people, and he kind of discovers that some of these people are talking inside of their houses. And so he kind of like tries to listen in before he knocks, and he hears someone say about something about a demon roaming around the outskirts of the village, and this demon is tormenting the village chief. I mean, I okay. I'm going to fix this because this is not this is not true. I think what I'm going to do is this one is going to be this, and this extreme is going to be um, what is a good help villages establish a mercenary group of demon hunters. There we go. There we go. There we go. And so this, there we go. That's more like it. That's a goal. This is a goal that would take a long while to do. This is a goal that can probably get done for this village. Okay. So, here's what I'm going to do. This is Okay. 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 I'm gonna wait until people are back from ads to continue. Which is, this is one of the reasons why I like journaling like this. It kind of like lets, if this kind of situation happens, it kind of lets me do some writing when the ad break is in, and I don't really, you know, continue the story until people are back. Hello. Welcome back, everybody. Oh, wait. You guys weren't in. Oh, I see. You guys were getting into ads. But anyway, are you guys still in ads? Oh, okay. I'm confused. It says ads starting soon, but I thought the ads were already playing. You exist? Hello. I don't. Why is OBS like this? I don't understand. Are the ads starting or like what's happening? There we go. Oh my god, OBS is having a little bit of a mental breakdown. Okay. Man. I feel you, by the way, Amber. I feel you. OBS is just what the hell sometimes. Because it literally said that the ads were starting and it took like 5 minutes to actually start. I'm like, what? Come on, man. Okay. Okay. All right. Uh, let me see. Let me see here. Hmm. 20 more seconds. All right. Okay. I think everybody's back now. I think from my ads. Hopefully. Oh yeah, I think everybody's back now from ads. Hello. Welcome back, everybody. We back? We back. Nice. While you guys were in ad hell, I decided to write a little bit. Um, what are ads? Oh my god, Amber. Bruh. Anyway, here is the next part of what actually happened. Upon having a few ideas and the people willing to talk with whispered voices, Phelan, being of elven heritage, managed to overhear a conversation inside of a home he walked by. What if the Wanderer is willing to help us with the demon? A feminine voice asked slowly. We could tell him, but at risk he would eventually find out and exile us. Then where will we go? A gruff male voice exclaims. Phelan decides that with that information, he sets out to find this demon that is tormenting these people and end its existence. Okay, so now, because he undertook a journey, he gathered information, and then he undertook a journey, he, let's see, he starts heading off towards where he thinks the demon went. So, right now, let's do let's do another 1d100 roll. Actually, no. Let's ask the oracle here real quick. Oh, these are oracles. Action and themes. What is this? To inspire a discovery. Okay, a character goal. Okay, no. Okay, no. Turning point. Major plot twist. Dun dun dun. Let's do a tarp. No. Okay. So they have reached a waypoint, which is okay. And mark progress. Okay. So I think with one more journey, let's see. Let's see what make camp says. For several hours in the wild. Okay. Okay, let's not make camp yet. I think let's do 2 journeys per day. Actually, no. Here's what I'm going to do. He reaches the outskirts of the town and he looks around. Since these are the havens, he looks around at the forest and he lets us gather some information. Search an area. Yeah, let's gather some information to see if we can find anything around here with wits. No, I don't have a bond with this place. Oh my lord, holy crap. A 1 and a 10. Okay, so that's a weak hit. Ooh, here we go. Take 1 momentum. Okay. Envision what you discover. The information complicates your quest or introduces a new danger. You know what? Let's introduce a new danger. Combat event, character, place oracle, settlement, turning point. What is this? Narrative surprise or revelation. Or introduces a new danger. Combat action. For an NPC in combat. Mystic backlash, no. Let me see. Ooh, okay. Here's what I'm going to. I'm going to ask the Oracle. Yeah, I'm going to ask the Oracle a yes or no question because I think this is. No, I'm going to pick two. One of them is Phelan fights a cultist roaming around. The other option is he actually finds the demon that is here. Oh, does it say that I reached a milestone when I did it? No, and take +2 momentum. Yep. Oh, okay. A milestone. Okay, never mind. Okay. So, fate. Ask the Oracle. Is it a cultist, which is very likely, or is it the demon? Okay. So it is a cultist. All right. So let us document this. Okay, hold on. What did I get? Oh, okay. Complicates your quest or introduces a new danger. Okay. It is a weak hit, but it doesn't say that they do kind of like sneak up on him. So I would assume that he does notice the cultist. Okay. So, Balin travels for half a day into the woods nearby of Windhaven. As a ranger, he recognizes his surroundings. Little did he know that there was a cultist eyeing him from afar. He notices the cultist and he draws his bow. Hey, what are you doing here? Stop terrorizing these people. And this is actually where I'm going to end for today. You guys want to find out what the fight is going to be next? What the fight is going to be? Well, you're gonna have to come back in next time. Just kidding. Anyway, I think this is a really good and interesting beginning to this. Because all of this is randomized. Like, if I face danger, is randomized. If I secure an advantage, is randomized. Even combat is randomized. Technically, let me do let me do an oracle here in a moment. Aren't Jesus help you? I know, right? Um this prompt oracle with the focus oracle or the theme oracle. Huh. Okay. Let's not do this. Where's the threat? No. Where's the oracles? Fate moves, quest moves, suffer, combat, battle. Okay, adventure moves, combat moves, which is enter the fray. Fate move. Okay, no, let's not do that. Threat moves. Rarity moves. Okay, let me see. That's actors, that's journal. Compendium, Ironsworn. Ironsworn foes. Firstborn. Place oracles, action oracles, character oracles. What is this? Okay. How do you set the... Okay. So... set the rank of each of your foes, but how do you roll randomly though? Okay, let's just make it into a dangerous foe. Okay, so let's do this. Placing up against your foe, moving into position against an unaware foe. No. Ambush roll, no. Okay, so let's do this. Let's do this progress. And this is cultist. He is dangerous. Okay, so this is the progress bar. And let's roll with our heart. Oh, I got a weak hit. Bolster your position or take initiative. Um, let's do this right now. Let me take momentum, which basically I entered the fray, and then I think because I don't have initiative, the cultist has initiative, which is kind of, you know, not kind of a little bit kind of a little bit true, but I do have a lot of momentum, which can help me for next time. So, next time we're gonna be fighting this. We're going to be fighting this cultist, and we are going to see if I die or I don't. But anyway, thank you everybody for joining me tonight. It was a wonderful 2 hours of character creation and then a little bit of world building and the first few things in chapter. Cue the intense music, I know, right? Let me see. Thanks for streaming. Merry Christmas. Hi, Mimsy. Hello. Um, let's see. Thank you guys for coming. I had to. I'm sorry. No. Let me see. You're obligated by duty? Wow. All right. I don't make you be here. Jesus. All right. So I think this is gonna be our battle music for now. All right. So I'm going to leave you guys here so you can listen to this little music as the ending screen goes off. But I hope you guys have had a wonderful Christmas. Christmas. It was fun doing this. I am probably going to continue doing this. Doing like this tabletop RPGs when I can. When I have a set day, which may actually be on Wednesdays and Thursdays, so those are my shorter kind of days. But if you guys have any suggestions for raiding, let me know. Otherwise, we are going to raid someone that I have recently met. They are playing Monster Hunter Wilds at this moment. And I want to say hi. Um, let me see. Let me look at a few other ones. Monster Hunter sounds good. All right. Okay, let's copy this. And then let's do raid this. All right. So we're going to raid Devil. I have been talking to her and she is very entertaining. She is an Arc Raider player, I think, which I am somewhat interested in. But anyway, here there is a raid message. Here are my socials for you guys to follow. I usually try and post on social media. I'm trying to somewhat avoid Twitter at these few days because I've had a lot of people bothering me on Twitter. So more than likely, I'm gonna be posting more on Blue Sky than on Twitter. But go ahead and follow both if you'd like. Um, quickly. Let me see. Invite to server. Copy. And there is my Discord link right there. If you guys would like to join the Discord and keep up with when I go live, there is that little thing that you guys can come on in. Oh, wait, hold on. That might be the wrong one. Yep, that's the wrong one. Do not, don't click on that one. That's the wrong one. Okay. Let's cancel the raid real quick. Oops. And let me do that. That is the wrong one. My bad. This is the right one. Yeah, there it is. The second one is the right one. Too bad I can't delete that one. Okay. So let's do the raid message again. Let's do the raid again. Okay, there we go. Sorry guys, my bad. My bad. Anyway, there's my socials. Don't click on the first Discord, click on the second Discord, the one with the 6BZ. That is my Discord. If you'd like to join and keep in contact with me and keep up when I'm going live, you can go ahead and click that one. I accept everybody. Just don't be a little shit or I'm going to banhammer you. Anyway, hope you guys have a good rest of your night. I will see you guys tomorrow with another stream. And tomorrow I'm going to be playing Dark Tide. Okay. I will see you guys tomorrow. See ya.